Hello everyone, and welcome to another Minecraft update video. This is pre-release 6 for 1.19.1, and we don't have any news of a release date on the horizon. There might be a week or two more ahead of some updates to this game, but what I have for you today is some news about Minecraft NFTs, and also some rebalancing to the Sculk sensor and the Sculk catalyst, as well as bug fixes and changes to chat. So let's jump into it. So we are going to talk about the Sculk Catalyst first of all. This was a block that could drop a lot of XP in survival mode, and please forgive the noise as I summon in a bunch of wardens. Of course, the warden drops the Sculk Catalyst, and it is possible in 1.19 to make a warden farm and get your hands on a lot of this block. So Mojang have decided to nerf this block. Let's go into survival mode. I'm going to break this. I've currently got 0 XP. And yeah, it takes a moment to break. Now that I've got the right tool to mine it, you'll see that we don't get a lot of XP from it now. And if you're unsure about the amount of XP that we have here, we can query it and you can see that we've got 5 experience points. So this is a big nerf. It used to be 40, now it's 5, and because you can get a lot of these blocks, it's like portable experience. In fact, the most valuable form of portable experience, which used to be, I believe, the bottles of enchanting, which give you between 3 and 11 each time you throw it. So that's like an average of 6 or 7, and this means that the catalyst is now not as good as XP bottles. Now personally, I think it was a mistake to make the warden a farmable mob. This thing is supposed to make you terrified, and it's very easy to get killed by it even when in full netherite armor, but there was a good reason to create a farm, and that was because you can get these catalysts. Now for the average player, they're probably not that useful to have a lot of them, but because they dropped so much XP on being broken, that actually meant that farming them gave you something really valuable. And that's the reasoning behind this change, and I think a lot of players might not be too happy with it, but I do think it's a good decision if they want to keep the balance that portable XP should be done by a different block. If it's done by the Sculk Catalyst, then you have all the incentives to build a warden farm. So next up, we have some changes to the Sculk sensor. The first one actually affects the Sculk Shrieker. If we compare these two clips that were shared on the bug tracker, you can see the timing of holding down shift as the player would actually stop the Shrieker from being activated. So now if I go ahead and just throw this over here, you can see that it activates the Shrieker. So now we're going to do that again, but this time I'm going to hold down shift and you'll see that the Shrieker gets activated, and this is the intended behavior. Now this next one is interesting because this is intended behavior for the Sculk sensor that somehow didn't make its way into 1.19. So these blocks right here you can place down and they don't set off the sensor, right? But when you break them and they drop as items, they would activate the sensor, which is erroneous. So now in this update, you'll be able to break these blocks and not set off a sensor. Now the chat preview feature was inaccessible when sleeping in a bed, when of course you can actually chat and say things like this. So yes, that now works when you try and sleep in a bed. And yes, you may have noticed that some things have changed here. The colours in the corner and the highlight is a little bit bigger, I believe. So now it's blue instead of green, and instead of orange, it's like a yellowy orange. And by the way, it's really hard to type a sentence while you're talking. I mean, give it a try sometime. Try and type a sentence that's different to what you're saying out loud. I find it really confusing. And that is why when I do this, I just type test over and over again. And let's now move on to the technical changes. The run command click event for text components no longer supports any commands that send chat messages. If you want to do that, you now need to use the tellraw command. And then when it comes to bug fixes, we covered the key ones already. I thought I'd mention there are quite a few game crash scenarios here, which has been fixed, and that is nice to see. So we have one more topic to cover in this video, and just before we get to it, I'm going to ask any of you who are not subscribed to do so if you want to stay up to date with all the Minecraft news, pre-releases and snapshots, because that's what I do here on this channel. So feel free to subscribe. Thank you for doing that, and let's continue. So Minecraft NFTs, believe it or not, they are a thing. I have seen skins and seeds sold as NFTs, and I gotta say it's pretty darn dubious, but that's just my own opinion. And Mojang have now actually taken an official stance on Minecraft and NFTs. So today on the Minecraft.net website, this post was published. I will link to it in the description box down below, but let's have a quick read of the opening and summarize what's in this article. Recently, we've received some feedback from members of the community asking for clarification and transparency regarding Mojang Studios and Minecraft's positions on NFTs and blockchain. While we are in the process of updating our Minecraft usage guidelines to offer more precise guidance on new technologies, we wanted to take the opportunity to share our view that integrations of NFTs with Minecraft are not generally something we will support or allow. So there's a section here explaining what an NFT is, and I'd recommend not only reading that but doing some more research on the topic too. And what these NFTs do is essentially create scarcity and also exclusion, as only so many people can have access to these particular NFTs, and that they want the game to be inclusive for all people to have access to the same content. And so the blockchain technologies that NFTs run off of will not be permitted to be integrated into either a client, which is the game running on your system, or a server which you connect to play. This will also include content like worlds, skins, persona items, and even mods will not be able to utilize the blockchain technology. So the article goes on to elaborate on their stance, talking about how it creates scarcity and inclusion, and that Minecraft values are of inclusion and playing together, and that NFTs can create speculative pricing and an investment mentality, as well as encouraging profiteering, which takes away from the focus of playing the game. They also point out that third-party NFTs may not be as reliable and sustainable as you might suspect, that the technology is rather volatile, and that some of these things can just disappear. And so the final statement is that blockchain technologies are not permitted to be integrated inside of Minecraft client and server applications, nor may they be used to create NFTs associated with any in-game content, including world skins, persona items, or other mods. And on a final note, they do kind of leave the door open, saying that they're keeping an eye on the technology, but that is at least their stance for now. And this brings us to the end of the video, so be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it and you want to support the channel. That's it from me, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye bye!